Welcome back to the Bass Tutor. My name's Tyler Fry, and you guessed it, I'm the Bass Tutor. So today I wanted to teach you all how to set up a little lucrative bait that a lot of people don't throw too much, and that is a double fluke rig. A double fluke rig is a great bait for pre-spawn, post-spawn, spawning, and even the shad spawn. It's just an all-around great lure and a great technique to use this time of year. So I'm going to teach you how to set it up. I'm going to tell you when I throw it, and I'm going to tell you the setup I throw it on. So let's get into it. So first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to get 2 3/0 hooks or 4/0, whichever one you prefer. I like 3/0. You're going to need a swivel. You're going to want to make sure it's got some tiny rings to it, a little bit smaller. And you're going to need a leader line. You usually do about the same pound test that's on your rod already. That always helps. And then you're going to need 2 of your favorite flukes. My usual go-to is white. You can't beat white in just about any color of water, but you can choose whatever color you like. So now, let's get into the rod real quick. Typically, I'm going to throw this on a 6'10" or 7-foot medium action rod. This one just so happens to be a Lews. I have this one and I have an ALX. It's my favorite ones to throw it on. This one, it's got more of a little faster tip to it, so I usually like that to set the hook better. And I'm going to throw that on a 7 5-to-1 reel. That's usually my go-to. Something in the 7 speeds is always good. And usually throw it on about 12-pound test, 15-pound, depending on the cover. And then if I'm fishing it around grass or a lot of heavy cover, I'm going to throw it on a medium heavy rod. That's just dictated upon whatever kind of structure you're throwing it around. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to rig it up. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your leader line here. You're going to run it through your swivel. And you're going to tie whatever kind of knot you want. For this case, I'm going to tie a Palomar knot just because it's the easiest. And you're still able to tie the Palomar knot with this. Later on in this, it's harder to tie the Palomar knot, so I like to. You want to make sure all your connections are very stout too. One failure and it can ruin the entire rig for you. So you got that tied on. You're going to cut your tag end off. So now you're going to kind of measure this out. Now keep in mind, this portion of the leader is going to be how far it sticks out from the first hook. So typically I'm going to keep it about probably a foot. So I'm going to take off a little bit of this, but you don't want to take off too much that whenever you tie your knot that it makes it too short. But keep in mind that you're going to have to cast this, so just be aware of that. So we're going to tie another Palomar knot right here. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our main line that's connected to our rod and reel, and we're going to run the other end of the swivel up on there. So you just run it through there like that, and it'll just be free swinging all the way up your line. So lastly, what you're going to do is you're just going to tie the hook onto the other end of your line. This is what's going to hold on the other fluke and the swivel and everything that's connected to it. So now you've got it rigged up. Now you're going to do the last part, which is put on your flukes. So if you don't know how to rig a fluke, it's just a simple Texas rig. But whenever you rig a fluke, you want to make sure you take into consideration of how high in the water column you want it. So with that being said, the closer to the front that you put your hook, the deeper it's going to go. The closer toward the back you go, the higher it's going to float. So say you want it to go a little bit deeper under the surface, you're just going to barely go in and bring it up, go around your point, bend your plastic, bring it through, good to go. So when it looks like that, that's going to make it go down. It's not going to come up. If you want it to come up and you want to work it on the surface more like a topwater or a wake bait style bait, what you're going to do, you're going to run it farther back into the plastic. So whenever you go in, just go in a little bit further. I usually go to about the bend right there. Bring it out. Bring it over the eyelet of your hook. And then you Texas rig it. So a lot of the times whenever they're really chasing them up high and bringing them to the top, that's what I'll do. I'll work it as a topwater bait. And when they see two options up there, they're really apt to come after it. So for this instance, we'll make it look like a topwater. So once it's all said and done, it's going to look something like that. And this thing, whenever you throw it out there, this thing's just going to dance in the water column. It's going to look like two dying shad up there on the surface, just twirling around, and those big bass, they can't stand it. So lastly, I want to show you one little trick for if you're fishing the grass. If you're fishing around thick, heavy, matted grass, we've all been there. We've all had to pull it through it, and it's a pain. And a lot of the times, that even though this thing's Texas rigged, a lot of the times it still gets hung up. It's just not fun. So I'm going to show you another way to rig this fluke on here to prevent that from happening. So instead of having your belly toward the hook, you're going to turn the back toward the hook. So you can see here, the back of the fluke, the flat part, is toward the bend of my hook. So I'm going to go up on there. Say you want to work it towards the top, so we'll just put it way up in the meat. You rig it up there, bring it around your hook point. Now what that's doing is you've got this belly, all right? You can see it opens up. You're going to just Texas rig it like normal, but guess what? Your hook's up in that belly. There's nothing to get caught on. Now the action's going to be a little bit different, but trust me, these fish, they don't care. It looks just about the same to them, whether it's like this or like this. So it'll just dance about the same. It's going to come through that grass good. You're going to be able to skip it a lot better if you're just fishing a single hook, and it's just going to be all around a better option around the thicker cover. So guys, I hope this video helps. I hope you guys get out there and are able to try this fluke rig. It's been one of my favorite for years, and it's always fun to catch fish on. So if you guys have any questions, you can leave them down in the comments, and I'll see you guys later. And don't forget to wet a line. We'll see you guys later.